spring has sprung, and I know that we aren't the only ones who are looking towards the end of our homeschool year. We always try to finish mid-May or so, second or third week, depending on the year. I know some of you don't finish until like mid-June, but wherever you are, you have less of the school year to go behind you. So what things do I do to wrap up our homeschool year? When I was early in our homeschool journey, I just kind of ended our year. I could just end it whenever. And I didn't really make any, I didn't really do anything. It just ended. But over the years, I found that if I put in a little bit of effort, a few things here and there, it just makes our homeschool year wrap up better, and it sets us up for a better school year next year. First thing that I really like to do this time of year is to find out where we're really at. This does not take long, but it's really an important step. So it really takes about 15 minutes per kiddo. I go through everything that we have, or everything that the student has, what is left, and the important part is it realistic to finish everything that's left? So if math, you have moved slower on this year than what you planned, and you're not even halfway through it, you're not going to finish realistically this year. So make a plan for that. If history, you are a little behind, maybe a couple of weeks, but you've been keeping a pretty good pace, you don't anticipate anything of that changing, pick up the pace a little bit and you can complete it. Taking that stock now means that you're not having to make a decision. Well, first of all, you don't wind up at the last week of school and realize that you still have a lot more to go than what you planned. But it also means that you're being proactive. You are being proactive in making decisions about what needs to get cut, what adjustments you need to make in order for whatever you need to do still this school year. You get to the end of the year and you realize you're behind on something. I've done this many years, and the thought that goes through my mind is a better homeschool mom wouldn't be in this position. I don't want that for you, because I know how much it messes with me when I do it. First of all, you are what's in your family. Second of all, there's no benefit in that. Yes, you know what, maybe you're behind on certain things and it really is your fault, maybe. But it doesn't matter, that's already done. So take stock, evaluate where you're at, and then go forward. Update your records. What records do you need to do? Do you have things to submit for the state? Do you have testing? If you have a high schooler, updating your transcripts and your course descriptions. Figure out what you need to do. Make a list of what needs done. And then, the important step, schedule time on your calendar to work on it. And schedule more time than what you think you need, because things take longer, and then if you finish early, great, no harm. But if you don't schedule enough time, then you're gonna have to find your time. And then depending on who you are and what the circumstances are, you may procrastinate. So don't do that. Plan more time than what you think. Next, as you are finishing things up, we're going to start purging, sorting, and selling. So purge things that you're not going to need next year and that you want to donate. Find a box for those things. Things that you can, papers and such, workbooks, start recycling those. For things that you want to sell, take photographs now, figure out pricing, so that way as your student finishes, in a couple weeks, if they finish it before the end of the school year, you can go ahead and you've got your photos, you've got your price, write up a quick description, post it, and you're ready to sell it. So I like to make sure and do that as I'm going so that it's easier. And I'm not as overwhelmed because I don't have as much stuff to do at once. And as you've got the time, also go ahead and go through your bookshelves again, through your readers and other school stuff, and see if there's anything that you thought you wanted to keep but you don't, and set those things aside. This year I am going to take a bunch of stuff over to a used curriculum store in Raleigh. And so the things that I've put off, that I've procrastinated selling, I'm just going to take over there and let them do it. It is worth the fee to me to get it out of my house and to get that weight lifted off of me. Like, just take it, please. So, number 4 thing that I like to do at the end of every school year is to evaluate how it really went. Now, I have a free page down there that's a kid's description or a kid's evaluation sheet, so they can tell you what they liked about the year, what they didn't like, their favorite books and field trips and all of that. So then you can take it. One, it's a great memory thing, but then you can also take it and put it together, or put their answers together, so that you can use it then to help you plan the next school year and things that they really enjoyed. See where that can inspire you to include similar type of things next year, things they really hated. If you were going to plan it next year, well, you know they really hated it, so what can you choose instead, or how can you take what you did and improve upon it so that they enjoy it a little more next year? In addition to the free page, I also have a year-end evaluation pack into the, I forget what it's called, in the homeschool year pack. So it's got all kinds of different evaluation sheets and some checklists and this and that. It's on sale right now, so I will have that linked down there as well. Take some time to go through that with your kids. Take some time to figure out how you did and what went well for you, what didn't go well for you, what curriculum you absolutely hated teaching, and how that might affect your choices next year. That, I think, is one of the most valuable things, because sometimes we're going along through the school year and we're like, oh, hate this. And then come the next school year, you're buying curriculum and you forget how terrible it really was, because you remember the good parts but forget the bad parts of it. And then you get it again and you start teaching it, and then come October you're like, why did I make this mistake again? Well, we're not going to. So spend some time evaluating your year. And the last thing is that I always like to add some fun activities at the end of the year. So as they finish up different subjects, and you've got, sometimes you'll finish one thing before in the school year, whatever, then you've got some fun things to add to it. You could do things like hour of code, lots of levels of that, and it's a fun way to just let your kids get creative, learn some basic coding things. Check out something like Disney Plus or PBS for some cool educational shows that don't necessarily have anything to do with anything they've studied this year, but there's still so many great options to check out. Outschool classes, great way to do like some small things, once a week things. Sometimes there's lots of one-time classes, self-paced classes, whatever. Just, again, things that are not necessarily related to anything else they've done, but encourage that fun and enjoyment of learning just to learn. If your kids are older, Udemy, they could work on things like learning skills for Canva, which is a photo editing-ish, very basic photo editing, but graphic design, that kind of thing. There's lots of tutorials out there for that. If you have an older student who may enjoy something like that. If you have Adobe products, Adobe's website has lots of tutorials that they could go through, something like that. So many different options, and I think I've got a blog post with a bunch of ideas, so I'll link it if so, but just have some fun with the end of the year. And of course there's always things like getting out and go hiking or reading outside in the sun. It's one of our favorite end of the year activities. I really think this time of year is good for remembering, like celebrating, just like that learning is fun, and that because we homeschool, we have that flexibility to go outside and do our reading out there, or spend 3 hours playing Hour of Code if your student enjoys it that much. Grabbing board games like Prime Climb, or trekking the world, trekking the national parks. All those other things that are a lot of fun and educational, and encourage that celebration of learning just to learn.